Well, hello YouTube. I am back once again with another closer look video for the love of Cobs, and this time I am showcasing this guy, the featured Lewis from Missouri Meerschaum. All right, well, let me tell you, this pipe for me is all about the look. I mean, as far as style and overall aesthetic, I just don't know if you get a much better looking pipe than the featured Lewis. And so, in fact, I'll give you a little bit, just a little backstory on this. So, this was the very first pipe that I purchased directly from Missouri Meerschaum. And as you saw in the pictures, I mean, it's got some use on it already. This one's pretty well broken in, and it's one of my oldest Cobs. And so, prior to discovering this pipe, I had only seen Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipes on that were available on pipesandcigars.com. And they've got a pretty decent selection, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty limited in terms of all the Cobs that are available. And so the very first time that I went to corncobpipes.com, Missouri Meerschaum's website, my eyes were open to just all that was happening with corncob pipes, and I was kind of blown away. And this was one of them that jumped out at me immediately. And I'll say I loved, so one of the first corncob pipes that I had seen that I thought was really impressive was the freehand. But the freehand is just a little bit, it's one I don't have in my collection yet. And for me, at least right now, it's just a little bit on the obnoxious end of the spectrum. And I know there's a lot of fans of the freehand out there. Frankly, it's probably one that I'll add to my collection at some point. But I just didn't want to go with something that big. But I liked some, certain things about it, like the dark stain of the bowl. I liked the style of the stem, and so I found the Lewis, the featured Lewis, and it has some of those same things, but with a much more moderate looking bowl. And so that's why I ended up going with this guy, the Fifth Avenue style bowl. Frankly, I mean, this really is, in many regards, it is a Diplomat Fifth Avenue that has just been dressed up and refinished to look like a premium pipe. And it does. I mean, it's very effective. So I like the Fifth Avenue shape. It does have the thick walls, and it's just a really, I mean, very comfortable, fits in your hand very well. The dark stain just adds that beautiful look. Now, I will say that this one is a bit different, at least from what I can tell. So in the other dark stain bowls that I have in pipes like the Country Gentleman and the Stubby, and even the Charlestown Cobbler, when you look at the finish of the pipe, the plaster that they've used to fill the cob in is also a bit darker. It's kind of a light gray, but it's darker. And then the grain of the cob kind of has that dark stain. Well, in this one, if I hold it into the light, uh, it looks to me like it's the same light plaster filling the cob as you would find on other light finished pipes, like the Diplomat Fifth Avenue. But it's got that dark stain on the grain of the cob, but the light plaster filling. So that is a bit unique, and if I'm wrong about that, someone can correct me, but that's what it appears to me when I hold it into the light. So anyway, so I do like that. I think it's a very handsome looking pipe. And then there's the stem, which I got to tell you, of course, in the description, it is described as an amethyst. I think a brown tortoise amethyst or something like that. But amethyst is in the description. I just wasn't paying attention. And so when I first looked at this and saw the light catch those flecks of amethyst in the stem, I was surprised. But there is a very present purple fleck in that tortoise stem, which you may or may not like. I think it looks nice. I think it looks cool. Personally, I probably would prefer it without the amethyst, but it doesn't bother me. So all in all, I think this is a great pipe. Almost always, if I'm going to be with a group of friends and they're smoking cigars or smoking pipes, whatever it is, almost always this is the pipe I take with me. It just looks great. Smokes great. And so, I know there's lots of different Lewis pipes out there. I don't know much of the history. This being the featured Lewis, I think it just has a little bit of a different, I think the stem is probably the biggest difference. I've seen it with a black stem. I've seen it with the fiery orange stem. But this being the featured Lewis, it has this amethyst tortoise stem. So great pipe. Let me know what you think. Do you have this pipe? Do you have some of the earlier versions of this pipe? Do you know more of the history of this pipe? You can comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you are considering this, I would definitely say it's one worth having. It's all about the look. It looks great. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. But anyway, thanks again for watching. And as the kids say, stay lit and keep puffing. Until next time.